That one glorious word represents more than just the geography between the Sabine and the Rio Grande. It represents a unique idea and way of life. A life of rugged individualism, proud self-reliance, gritty toughness, and fierce independence. That is what made Texas, and that is what will save her again. Howdy, folks. Sam Houston here. I want to thank you for tuning into the Feed Bandit podcast. Feed Bandit is the Texas first outdoors brand built by rabid Texans, for rabid Texans, and all those who aim to be one someday. We unapologetically promote the ideals that shape our Texas pride and Texas first patriotism through our love of hunting, the outdoors, and the gear and apparel we create. Texas, above all else, preserve the tradition, protect the legacy. Check us out at feedbandit.com. And to repeat that great rallying cry from a former colleague of mine, liberty or death. Now, enough of my talking. Here are a couple of bandits that love Texas as much as I do. Enjoy.
Scotch. I love scotch.
I smoked a cigar last night, so and I don't know what's happening.
God, you are lucky. That sounds so damn good.
It was nice. And then we drove around looking for deer and stuff. So that was fun. I've had Laura's been out, so it's just been me and the kids. So a lot of bonding this week.
That is so that like makes me so angry. You know, like yeah. I mean, I'm just seething with jealousy. I sat on the couch after showering, eating peanut butter out of the shower.
Hey, that's a great pastime too.
So good. God, I love peanut butter.
Well, I guess this is a good start to the podcast. Howdy, friend. Welcome back to the Feed Bandit podcast. That's kind of our banter before we get started here, and you get a little piece of the behind the scenes, I guess, right there. So,
that's right. That's
Jimmy
right.
Here, joined by Richard. How's it going?
Oh, fine. Thank you. Hey, Tech won last night. Holy cow.
That's right. Guns up.
Oh, man. You know,
that's the first game I've watched all the way through in a while.
God, really?
Actually, yeah. I don't know. I feel like if I'm not at the ranch with you guys or something, something's always going on to where I don't know.
Yeah, well,
I can't sit down and focus.
Right.
Maybe that's because it was just me and the kids, and I put them off on a movie, and I was like, I'm going to watch this. You know?
Right. Well, you should have watched that North Texas game. That was.
Oh, I saw the score.
Yeah, that reminds me of the old glory days of B.J. Simmons and all that. We're just throttling people.
God.
We had
Tulsa, right? They destroyed Tulsa.
Yeah.
Which Oklahoma State, I think. Did they destroy? Did they have they played them all right, I guess, the week before, and then Oklahoma State got destroyed.
The OU beat Tulsa, but
was it OU?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, IHOSU. They lost Kansas State.
Yeah, pretty bad.
Well,
probably my favorite was I enjoyed watching the SMU game.
Yeah.
Go Pony.
Yeah. Dude, listen. I think we're all in agreement. And this is our entire group of close buddies. If we had to go to a Florida school, we would unanimously go to Florida State. Greatest fight song.
Yeah, no question.
And the fact that, honestly, brilliant, hands off, brilliant people down there in the Seminole tribe. Brilliant, because they are open and receptive to keeping this long-standing tradition. Everybody knows about the Seminole Indians because of Florida State.
Yep.
Wow.
Well, and it's a thing of pride, and a lot of the Native Americans, whenever the Washington Redskins, changed their name, they were like, "What are you doing that for?" It's
absolutely.
This is awesome. This is it's like a thing of pride, and it's like it talks about us as proud warriors and this type of thing.
Absolutely, dude.
Like, why would you change that?
No, that's just an idiot.
And then I cannot stand. And then that just set me over the edge. That when the Cleveland Indians. I mean, are you fucking kidding me?
And I do listen. I'm with you, and that's why I am just so I am so. Look at Florida State, and look at Florida State and everything they've done for the Seminole Indians. It's brilliant. It's absolutely brilliant. I mean, all of us, okay, all right, I was about to say, all of us learned about the Seminole Indians through Florida State. It's not exactly true for those of us who grew up in the early 90s because of one man, John Anderson, of course, But, I mean, seriously, so John Anderson and Florida State have done those folks great.
Yep.
And I mean, it brought them out of the swamps, and they got air conditioning. I mean, that's nice,
I just don't know. Have they fired their coach yet?
Dude, I know it's all and Florida's not doing well either. Florida actually, they've got I read something this morning about how some group of alumni raised it was like only 25 million only to buy their coach out too. So
wow.
Mm-hmm.
Oh well, it's gonna be my prediction for Tech the rest of the year. I put it in the text. I think it's the defense so it's gonna be like a heart attack every game, because the offense is gonna have to outscore again everybody.
If it wasn't for Brooks, and dude, that guy is a stud.
Oh yeah.
And it's funny, like we not grew up, but the Torian Henderson days, and oh my God, who was the other guy after Torian Henderson? Johnny Mack. Yeah, that sounds like the Mortal Kombat guy. Brilliant. We grew and our own remember the other Ricky Williams, Ricky Williams.
Yeah, Byron Hanspard.
Yeah. Yeah,
and then Van Morris,
those before our days, but it's going to be interesting. So, but let's face it, we've been through it's over a decade now. Until our current coach got here, we have just been living in misery, the death throes of just complacency. Thank you.
Or apathy.
Apathy and just misery. Okay, one of the E words. And I think Joey Maguire. I still believe in him. The kid, the guy is. I mean,
you got to give him 3 more years.
You have to.
But with the NIL thing, when you can buy players, I don't know if that's muck things up like that. It's like we're building a program.
Well, it's ruined. I mean, it's ruined.
Or are you buying a program? I don't know.
It's ruined college football. It's ruined it.
Yeah.
It's ruined it. I mean, it's absolutely ruined it. There's a scene on Basketball, which is a movie that was done by the South Park founders, where it's funny. I think the South Park founders really believe they're furious. They were so tired. I can't imagine what they think about this. The whole NIL thing, they're tired of players going back and forth, here. And it was funny because they show a map during the movie. And it's ridiculous. That's the brilliance of those two guys. But, it shows the guy up there, and he's like, I am so happy to be in Cleveland. Cleveland, Ohio. And the guy goes, Miami. He goes, whatever. He doesn't know where he is, So I can't imagine what they think of that. But that's what this is coming to. And I can't stand it.
Yeah, it's destroying loyalty.
Oh, well, and so first we don't play A&M. Tech doesn't play A&M. Now we don't play Texas. Give me a break. That's what this is all about. Mm-hmm. And then all of a sudden you throw in this NIL crap, and it's just, what are we doing here? I mean, I got to admit, it's tough to get excited to play Cincinnati.
Oh,
are you kidding me?
Like, Cincinnati.
Oh my God!
Even Arizona.
What?
Yeah, Arizona.
Well, the other day I was flipping around. And I saw a Utah game. I was like, wait, what the hell? Why is the Big 12 symbol on their field? And I was like, oh,
yeah,
I forgot. So stupid.
Well, enough of that, I guess.
But the great thing about football is that it's not the only thing in town right now. And of course, that is what we specialize in. It is hunting season. No, hunting.
Hunting. Oh, yeah. Hunting.
Yeah, and for the past umpteen years, like we've been talking about, thank God we have hunting season, or we probably wouldn't be here right now. Let's just face it. You know, two overweight guys jump off the high five. Actually, one. You're not overweight.
Oh yeah. Oh man. Yeah. Actually, technically, I think I'm probably still considered morbidly obese.
Oh,
son. You know the sign thing in the doctor's office. Or
yes.
Are you 5 to 10 pounds overweight? Well, you're morbidly obese.
Oh yeah, morbidly. So it's like, okay, if that's morbidly obese, what the am I? You know, you're like, just do not resuscitate. That guy is huge. Look at that. Look at that definition. Look at that muscle, right?
Yeah. Well, you've been losing weight.
I have been on the starvation diet, which actually works really well. Don't eat.
Just ask the people in Africa, you know.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. But we're not doing it by choice, damn it. Oh God! All right, so boy, that was a big diversion there.
Yes, it was. Well, let me give the folks real quick our standard, quick history lesson.
Oh yes.
Things that we like to drum up to people can kind of know their state and
for sure.
know how things progressed here a little better.
Yeah, hold on, easy with that word.
What's that? Oh, progressed?
Yeah, let's not use that word ever again. That and community.
I'm using it in the right way, correct way.
Okay, fine.
Well, I don't know. Yeah, that's true. I mean, we have this podcast to fight against regression.
Absolutely. So, I can see some, idiot left wing, cat petter being like, yeah, Texas needs to progress. Bitch. Yeah.
Right. Well, so in end of September 1948, you know what happened?
Well, it was post World War II.
Yes, it was.
Mm-hmm.
Well, the first TV station in Texas goes on the air.
Yeah.
Can you guess which one it was?
Oh God! Don't tell me it's KRL or not KRLD. That's Ron Chapman in the morning. No, I don't know. It's radio. I don't know.
Well, and on this day, which was September 27th, 1948, WBAP Fort Worth became the first television station in Texas, and indeed in the whole South to go on air, carrying a speech by President Harry Truman. The station grew out of Fort Worth's first radio station, also called WBAP, established in 1922 by Amon Carter, owner of the Fort Worth Star-Telegram, and the namesake of IHTCU Stadium.
Yes, that's right.
No offense to Horned Frog fans that are listening. Yeah. By 1950, 6 TV stations were operating in Texas, including 3 in the Dallas-Fort Worth area. In the early 1950s, stations in San Antonio and Fort Worth began broadcasting live programs by use of coaxial cable.
Yeah.
Yeah. In 1953, 4 major television networks served Texas: the American Broadcasting Company, ABC, Columbia Broadcasting System, CBS, and National Broadcasting Company, NBC, and Dumont. What the hell happened to Dumont? In that year, network broadcasting was made possible across the state via Bell Telephone System facilities. Yeah, I mean, not that interesting, but it is interesting that I thought that was interesting because WBAP Fort Worth, the first one in the South.
Yeah. When they're also a radio station.
Yeah. W820 WBAP is the.
Let me tell you. I used my short commute to work. I used to listen to that.
Mm-hmm.
And by the time I got to work, I was so pissed off because there's no good news. There's no good news. It's all bad. It's all left wing, horrid stuff that's going on. Just I can't do this.
Oh, it's enough to make you put a bullet in your head. I mean,
and so I stopped. Yeah. I can't do it.
Good. Just put it on. Oh, what is remind me? Oh, 101.1.
Yes, yeah, classical. So, well, you know me and my Christmas stuff. So that absolutely. Yeah, they
start playing that pretty soon. Ugh.
Well, it's funny. They started doing that about 2 years ago. The new owners of the radio station were like, it's all Christmas all the time. So that's what I listen to. So, which I know you love, and that's actually actually speaking of Christmas, lights will be going up on October 28th.
I'm surprised y'all. Why don't you just get like the permanent lights that go under your eaves or whatever, and you can have them going all year?
Yep. You're right on that, but I am cheap, and they are expensive.
A lot of people have that in our neighborhood. That's the one thing that kind of pisses me off. And they'll have them going, every night.
Yeah.
It's like, come on, man.
So when you go drive around, have a cigar, looking for deer, life is tough. That's a shame.
Yeah, we were driving around last night, and Jeb looks over. He goes, "When can we start spotlighting?" And I go, "Well, we got to wait for the time to change, and then the sun will go down earlier."
God, when can we start spotlighting? That is one phrase my children have not uttered in this concrete nastiness we live in Plano, Texas. Oh, God. Hey, speaking of Texas history really quickly, what's coming up in a couple of days. One of the well, if not the greatest Texas historical flag of all time, the Come and Take It, October 2nd, 1835, the Battle of Gonzales, where the rebellious Texas settlers said, "We're going to take that cannon." And then they told the Mexicans to come and get it, and guess what? They didn't do it. Yes, sir. We win.
Win by default.
Yep. So that's coming up in a couple of days.
All right.
Yep.
Well, that'll be, if someone listens to this when it comes out, that'll be right around there.
Yep.
So,
it's perfect.
Awesome. So, what do you want to talk about first? Tough Texas teal.
Yeah. Let's talk about them, shall we? Yeah. So, okay. All right. So if you've listened to this program for many, many years, I will routinely talk smack about teal. Okay. It's just the way they are. Okay. And you'll always hear me say, "Oh yeah, the green winged teal are the first idiots to come in." Well, I use that term loosely. I don't mean to degrade them. Their deliciousness, they're beautiful, and I love their little peeps. And quite frankly, actually, there's been many a time where teal have kept me from just unhooking my waders and just drowning myself in the tank because they're the only thing that come in. Okay, so I love teal. Okay, there's my little pre-speech. However, the blue-winged teal, as we've always discussed, are the first teal down to Texas because they have to go the farthest. They go to Mexico. And they go to Colombia. And one of the reasons why they do that is because they have these little tic-tac pouches they put on their back, and they smuggle drugs from Colombia back up to Canada. And a lot of people don't know that. But anyway, so that's why they got to leave early. Anyways, they're not blue-winged teal are typically not the brightest crayon in the box, meaning they decoy very well. Okay, they have no problems landing in shallow water. It's whereas and they don't. I have found that they don't circle a lot. Whereas it's funny. I got the chance to go to Rancho Bandito a week ago or so, just to slip down literally for a morning and evening hunt. We'll talk about that. And I had big ducks. I'm like, go away. I'm here. Stop teasing me. Just fly on, dumb, stupid duck. Whereas the teal are like, "Oop-a-doo," and just come right in. They don't care. But and so normally when I do get the chance to go early teal season, okay, I decoy, they come right in. And this time at Rancho Bandito, unlike the past couple of years, our cup overfloweth with water. So I'm able to be in a great spot underneath this tree, which if you've looked at our YouTube channel, Hinton, you'll see a lot of the duck hunting videos are filmed under that tree. That's my typical teal killing tree, and it was perfect. Absolutely perfect this year. And I was cocky and arrogant. Oh, God, it was great. We show up. I had a friend of mine show up before daylight, the evening before, and or before night. And he's like, "Oh, there's 30 teal down there by the dock." So he was real excited, and I was like, "Oh, this is great." They'll fly off and they'll come in the next morning. Well, we'll fast forward to the next morning. Slightly hungover, got real excited, duck hunting. Yee! Went out and put the blind out. Of course, as I normally do, I put it too close to water, so we had to figure that out. That's a whole different story. But we set out the decoys and we're ready to rock and roll. And typically at first light, that's when they come in. And boy, they did. They came right in, but they totally passed us up. I just couldn't believe it. And so there I am with teal egg on my face, because I'm like, hey, this doesn't happen. They're supposed to land right in there. So thankfully,
were they too high to shoot?
It was first of all, it was too early. And they circled us. I was like, okay, yeah, let's give them some time. Here they come, because we literally had about 1 minute. We'd let them land, and then we'll send them to teal heaven. Well, they didn't do it. They just kept circling. They circled twice, 3 times, and then they jetted for the other side of the tank, right where my buddy saw them the other afternoon. And I was dumb. I know. I was absolutely dumbfounded. So, as I'm sitting there in misery, going, God bless it, I'm hungover. I'm soaking wet because I don't put my waders on; I'll sweat to death. And so I'm in my little silky shorts. I'm soaking wet, a little chill in the air, right? And my buddy looks to the right. He goes, "Oh, here they come! Here they come!" And I look to my right. I'm like, "What in God's green earth is that flying just above the water, coming right to us?" And I'm like, "Well, they're not teal, so we can't shoot them." But I have no idea what they're ducks of some sort. Huh. Well, they were red. I said it wrong on the videos. Don't give me hell. Red leg or red bellied whistling ducks. Huh. So if you research them, they're a duck that's typically found on the coast and more in South Texas. We don't see them often at all. But boy, they decoyed like a son of a gun.
Is there a season for those?
What's that?
Is there a season for those?
It's just the regular duck season.
Regular? Okay.
Yeah, but they're kind of they kind of split the difference between a big puddle duck, like a mallard, and a goose. They've got these long legs, and they just sitting there whistling in my decoys. I'm like, oh, this is great. Now we have live bait. And I was messing with my GoPro and all this kind of stuff, and they didn't seem to care. Well, thankfully, finally, we ended up having 2 random teal spook from the other end of the tank, and they flew right into us. Oh, nice. And so we did end up shooting 2. Now, what was really funny about that, as I said,
listen, this is my new ringer.
Oh, I love
the cats. Eat the cat. Eat the cat. They're eating the cats. They're eating the dogs.
Oh, I love it.
Can you hear that?
Yeah. Awesome. I love it.
Sorry, keep going.
No, it's okay. So as I said, a majority of the teal, well, all the teal that I shoot really during early teal season are always going to be blue wing. This time, a green wing and a blue wing. So the green wings typically do not. It's happened like once or twice. It's better my second or third time. Probably second or third time I shot a green wing in early teal season. So, obviously they're not the same species, but they're the same. So I guess he was like, "Hey, I'm going south. Let's roll." That's what happened. So, it's crazy how I have been doing this for so many years. Okay, and I could write a book on early teal season, and man, oh man, they got me. I'm stunned, and the conditions were just so perfect for them to land right there, and we're just going to unleash hell on them, which I've done so many times before, and boy, that did not happen. So
Well, what are lessons learned then?
Well, yeah, lessons learned are, if you can, you got to scout your area. Now, again, I said if I had to do it all again, would I change anything? I'm like, I don't know that I would, because it just, is it an outlier in the statistical data set that these teal landed here instead of where they normally go? I don't know. I'm not Ronald Bremer. For those of you who took ISQS at Texas Tech. But no, I'd probably do it all the same. It's crazy. Anyway. But we did end up getting two, and I tell you, that's the one thing that I've learned to really appreciate. Oh, it's for many, many years now. Thank God. It's just the fact that I get to get out.
Sure.
One is a success, and it's kind of like with my dove hunting. I used, and still kind of am. I used to just be a fanatic, and I'm like, oh, I want to live it out, and I want to do it in 6.5 shells.
Right.
And I only want to shoot male dove with 7-inch tails, But now I'm just like, God, if I can shoot 4, if I can shoot 5, I'm in great shape.
Yeah.
Of course,
story of my life.
Yeah. When I get to 5, then it becomes,
I'm almost there.
Yeah, I take 10. Who's asking that much?
Then once you get to double digits, it's like,
oh yeah,
come on.
Now it's like 13. I'm like, okay, gloves are off. Let's go. Which is funny. So, teal and dove, migratory birds, so typically when you've got one, you've got the other. So, and that's at Rancho Bandito, we talked about the conditions past couple of years, horribly drought, destroyed the duck hunting, but the dove hunting was phenomenal. We were absolutely tearing them up. This year, pretty dry September as well. So the tank hunting at Rancho Bandito has been where we normally has been fantastic. So that evening we went out, and I ended up shooting a limit, and lights out. And I've got some. I got some great video, which I've been using the shot cam over the past couple of years. What you can see here, and it is absolutely a lot of fun. The only downside, not downside, but the only thing you got to remember when using this shot cam is that it's a camera, so you can't just put your gun down. So you'll see me on the GoPro. I got this, and I'm like, boom, and I'm like, so it doesn't really you got to be gentle when you're moving your camera so you can see it. But man, is it so cool. So
for those listening, the shot cam is something that it mounts on the barrel.
Yeah. Oh, yes. Sorry. Yes. It's a pricey camera. It's about $400, but if you like to film your hunts, it's well worth it. So much fun. It's a little app on your phone, of course, and all that. And a lot of people will download it right to your phone. I don't mess with it. I just take the little micro SD card out and throw it to my computer, and that seems to work really well. But
how do you start it? How do you stop and start it?
Well, it's a great question. So are we putting these on YouTube too?
The recordings?
Yeah.
Like the video recordings?
Yeah.
I haven't. I mean, we could start.
I was just thinking we'll do some deer hunting stuff, but
or
some identification. So how you start and stop it, on the back end of it right here is a light. Okay. And if it's solid green, and you can just sit there and look at it, solid green means it's ready to go. So it's motion activated, which I'm not sure how all you got to do is just bump your gun and it'll wake it up, and then you can do your shooting. Now, if you haven't shot in a while, which happens, the green light will flash. So then you got to bump it and wake it up.
Okay.
But once you get used to it, man, it is so much fun. It really is. And everybody's like, oh, Ray, I shot this bird and he did the helicopter. Well, now you can see the helicopter.
I had one of those. It was the longest helicopter ever.
You're shooting white wings. I mean, they're 35,000. They got little masks on them.
Yeah, that's so true. It was so far up there, and I nailed it. And it stopped dead in its tracks.
Yeah,
and it started doing the
Oh yeah, yeah.
I mean, it felt like it took forever for it to come down.
Well, you should have gone up there and
Caught it, yeah.
laid out for it. Caught it.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's so anyway. Limited then was just in phenomenal shape, and so the conditions are important. So the temperature that week when I limited was in the upper 90s. Okay, and then we had a bit of a cold front come in, and actually one of our good friends who borrowed a trailer from us ended up driving it down to Rancho Bandito, dropping it off, and said, "Hey, while I'm here, do you mind if I go hunt?" Of course, I'm like, really? Of course. So he went out there. To mind you, this is probably 4 or 5 days after I limited. Saw a good amount of birds, but you could tell that they had kind of moved out. But of course, one group of birds moves in, another one should theoretically be right behind it, depending on the power of the front. Well, so he ended up shooting about 8 or 9, which, listen, that's he's like us. That's fantastic. Of course, you get to 8, 9, it's like, hey, was 10 asking too much? Anyway, that's a whole nother thing. So he did okay. So my dad went out this weekend. This would be the 29th, or excuse me, the 28th, and he is in kind of a cut milo field, and it's it's under a shade tree. God, it's so perfect. He was like, it was a little hot. I'm like, oh, a little hot, huh? Yeah, well, I would rather have a little hot in a milo field than a little hot in a softball field. Right. Followed by, hey, go Susie, go Jennifer, woo! Yeah, I'd rather have that. Or I'd rather have the hot Milo field than listening to that stuff. It's like, what are we doing here playing softball? Half these girls aren't going to go to college. It's in my life. Anyway, so that's, boy, I deviated from that story. But Dad said that, I mean, there were hundreds of them. Okay. He's shooting a 28 gauge. Okay. And he ain't the quickest of foot these days. Okay. He's got some knee issues. He limited out and basically under an hour.
Damn.
And they were all over his mojo.
Wow.
And so that's one of the ways you can tell that they're migratory birds. The way they hit your decoys. Okay. And that when we were out there, when I shot my limit, they were on the decoy, but nothing like this. But Dad said they're all over the decoy to the point of, they were sitting there just kind of mimicking the decoy.
Really?
He had to wait. Yeah, he had to wait.
Wow.
And he was just stacking them up there. And, they kind of effectively came like little ground decoys.
Huh.
So he was done. He was done in an hour. Just nice. Phenomenal shoot. So again, for you, you all that dove hunt, I think statistically speaking, they say that I don't know, X percentage, they don't hunt after opening week of dove season. I mean, unless you just don't like it, but if you do like it, what are you doing, man? Get out there. And people are, what about deer season? I don't know. Totally get that too. Go if you're a bow hunter, which starts October 1, coming up in a couple of days, which is awesome. MLDP season starts as well, so managed land deer permits. But deer hunt in the morning. Don't have so much libations the night before. And we say that every year. And then dove hunt in the afternoon, man. You gotta get out there. October is a great time to shoot dove.
Yeah. Well, hopefully I can have some success this coming weekend.
I know.
More. I'd love to have a hunt down there at Bandito.
Yeah. Well, let's just see. I'm looking at this text message. Oh, that's right. He asked you to come in. Oh, well.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Well, my freezers are getting kind of long in the tooth, short of deer meat anyway. So, with deer coming up,
I hear you. Well, listen, I mean, Dad's already like, I don't know how we're going to do it. We've got 9,462 tags. My friends can't do it anymore. Your friends are going to have to kill everybody. And I'm like, well, Dad, I don't know what you're going to do. Why don't you just pay all of them to do that? And pay off their wives. And I don't know. What are we going to do here?
All right. Well, I'll be waiting for that proposal. to come through.
Yeah. It might be waiting.
James at feedbandit.com. You can
That's right.
that
Refresh. Oh.
Awesome.
Oh my God. Anyway,
Should we keep? Should we hold over the quail discussion to the next one?
Let's hold that over. But I do want to hit this one because I think it's important, especially for those who hear it or for who hunt in the area, because it's one of you and I's favorite areas.
Mm-hmm.
For sure. So. So real quickly, as you know, we really love to read a little section or summarize rather from the Lone Star Outdoor News, greatest hunting publication of all time, in our opinion. And again, this is why I absolutely love this piece. Okay. I mean, again, they cover everything. Okay. Not just South Texas, et cetera, et cetera. Well, one of these articles caught my eye, and it's so awesome because originally this is kind of what Feed Bandit was really started for, and it still is in a way, supporting small town Texas and supporting those businesses that are out there in those small towns with city dollars. It's kind of what it amounts to. And if you follow us on social media, you will see me. Every time a feed store says, hey, look, we've got anything from women's clothing to especially hunting gear, I will say, skip the big city box store and support your local feed store because that's what it's all about. It really is. It really, really, really is. Well, so anyway, this one's really near and dear to my heart because I love the fact that this new dedicated hunting and outdoor store has opened. And it is in one of my favorite parts of Texas, Albany, Texas, which is, that is Big Deer Central. And Albany is a phenomenal town. I actually, every year, I make an effort to get on to their different small town Texas high school football teams' booster websites. And I'll try to buy a shirt for them. And I wear it when I practice and just around town, just support, again, supporting small town Texas.
Mm-hmm.
And so 2 years ago, I bought my shirt that year was from Albany, where they went to state and won the whole thing, which is
they did.
Oh yeah, so boy, and they just didn't win; they won. I mean, they crushed them.
Nice.
This year, not doing so hot, but still love the Lions. Phenomenal, but. So new stores opened. The article talks about big country outdoor posts, which here we are going to get real cheesy, but that's what they call that area: Throckmorton, Shackelford, Haskell, the big country. Mm-hmm. And so growing up, when hunting in Throckmorton, we listened to radio stations, and they'd be like the Wizard 103.9 for the big country. So when I read that, that's just kind of near and dear to my heart, and something I love. It says. The owner here, or the managing member, his name is Chris Allen, talking about the grand opening of this. And, of course, these guys are genius because when did they do it? They did it when it coincides with the opening weekend of dove season because they know, smart dudes, they know that you're going to have a lot of hunters down there dove hunting. They're also going to be doing their feeders and stuff, too.
Yep.
So, he says it was heavily weighted towards the local Albany crowd turning out to support us, he said. Over the weekend, we saw plenty of traveling hunters come by, and that's absolutely tremendous. And he goes on to talk about, how this town is, how the store rather is filling a void in a hunting centered town. They got a gun store and all this kind of stuff. And it says a lot of people bought lots and lots of bags of corn. Okay,
there you go. Yeah.
Which is just so cool, so cool to us. And again, because if you think about, our feed store is really making a lot of money off corn. Not really. Sure, they're going to make a couple of bucks. I wish they'd make more, but it's so dependent upon the price of corn and all that kind of stuff, and gas and all that kind of stuff. It's kind of what it is with commodities, but. The fact of the matter is, corn is to a feed store what gasoline is to a convenience store.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so They want you to buy corn. That's awesome. Thank you so much. But they also really want you in there to buy the other kind of stuff they've got. And what I really love, just besides the whole small town Texas thing, is that the owners of these small town Texas feed stores and whatnot, they go through, they put a lot of work, into finding stuff that you and I from the city need, that you might forget. Okay. And so remember that never really used to be a thing. You'd be out of luck, but now they've got that kind of stuff. I also think that they're really good at finding some unique stuff too, to have in there. So by all means, please stop by and support these guys. Especially the folks in Albany. I might reach out to them and see if we can have them on here.
Oh yeah, that'd be great. That'd be awesome.
Yeah, because that is so cool. So
I want to start that up again. Talking to folks like that, and
big time. I love it.
See how we can help. I have a running list of some others that I'll share with you that I've started just thinking about or whatever.
Excellent.
So yeah, let's get them on. That'd be fun.
Yes, that'd be really, really cool.
Yeah, and when we say support your local feed store, yes, it means your local feed store, but it also means support the local small businesses in the town and whatnot.
Big time.
Where you are, close to your land or whatever. Small town Texas, small businesses, family businesses.
Absolutely.
That's the tradition of this. But as we like to say. Preserve the tradition,
absolutely.
Protect the legacy. So,
100%.
That's how you
and some people say, well, too expensive, blah 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 blah. Really, do your research, guys. Okay, that they're not stupid. Okay, the small town business owners realize they're going up against some of these big box stores in the city. Okay, and sure, it may be a couple of dollars more, 50 cents more, but really think about it. And something else to think about that I actually want to start promoting a lot more, talking about along the business side of things, is when you're in deer camp, or dove camp, or turkey camp, or whatever it is you're in camp for, a bunch of dudes. Okay. You ain't eating tofu. Hell, you're probably not eating chicken. Okay. What are you looking for? You're looking for good old Texas red meat.
That's right.
Okay. Beef. You're looking for beef. You're looking for beef. Well, guess what?
Or pork, bacon, things like that.
Okay, right. Yes. It's pork in the morning. That's right. Okay. Very true. All right. But listen, hey, do your research. Okay. See your local processor in some of these towns, more than likely, especially the last couple of years, has probably started processing cattle. Okay, so go and talk to them. Go talk to or look online. They've all got Facebook pages now. See what kind of steaks they've got there. Okay, and listen, you want to talk about meat that's been a USDA facility, because unfortunately they have to have their hands in everything, idiots. But the fact it's probably been eating on property that you drive past by. Okay, whereas if you get something from a store, there's no guarantee that whatever you're getting from the store may be from Texas. Brazil, the United States imports a ton of meat from frickin' Brazil. Love the Brazilians; they're awesome. But the point is that we have got so much, a lot of this stuff here. Talk to your local butcher. Okay, yeah. In fact, I'll tell you this much right now. I guarantee you can get a better ribeye from somebody in small town Texas than you can from a local grocery store. Okay, as far as quality is concerned, and let's face it, price too. Okay, because listen, you're going to pay for it out the what here in for Dallas, for example. Okay, but I guarantee you a ribeye down there, will have the same quality. The same appeal, but it's probably going to be a hell of a lot less expensive. So you're spending the money anyway. Support small town Texas. Yeah,
that's what I do. Of course we have HEBs here, but for my meat needs, I always go to the local butcher shop that's been here for decades. They're like a staple in the brothels.
Absolutely,
and that's where I buy all my meat. And
absolutely.
I cooked a tri-tip Friday night from the.
Ah, you're kidding me! That's awesome.
That's one of my favorite meats now. Is the
Dude,
tri-tip.
hey, the tri-tip, it's hysterical. The tri-tip has just become a thing.
I know.
The tri-tip, I mean, I hate to say this. Sorry, tri-tips out there. The tri-tip, really, the past 10 years has come into an existence. I mean, it was damn near one of those pieces that you grind, you know, back in the day.
If you make it right, it's very tender, and Carlos got me onto the tri-tip.
Oh God! Well,
he makes a great one.
He is a smart man.
But no, I do that, and they have the best bacon you'll ever find.
Yeah,
is at this place that I go to, Granzine.
Okay.
Oh my goodness, it is the best bacon ever. So, and of course their red meat is amazing too. I mean, their steaks and everything, they're just ridiculous. So, I totally agree. That's what I do, 100%. And then there's a place by Canyon Lake over here called Pure Pastures that if you're in a hankering for like a 100%, grass fed, blah blah blah, didn't touch anything other than literally walking on the grass to being on your plate type.
Right.
You can go there, and they have it for everything, for pork to beef to all sorts. They have every cut. Yeah. That's the difference also between going to like a or like a grocery store or something.
Right. You
go to these places, and if you ask them, it's like, hey, do you have like the so-and-so gland or whatever?
Right.
Like, oh, let me see,
Yeah.
Pull it out for you if they want.
Right.
They have like vacuum sealed, like all everything in these animals. So, you can literally eat everything. So
no, you're 100% right, and that is what is so cool. It's kind of funny, like back in the 50s, and even the 60s, we were like, well, the infomercial, mom's off to the butcher, and she's like, hi Sam, I'll take 40 pounds of ground round, but now it's convenience, and you're buying everything at the same place, but you're starting to see a resurgence, in my opinion, of local butchery stuff. Mm-hmm. Bakeries never really kind of fell off, obviously, but they weren't, there are more bakeries, I think, than butcher shops, and so going back to our childhood, we got the bakery, we got the butcher,
and the candlestick maker.
Yes. Okay. So that is the new thing. Candlestick makers have got to make a comeback because we all know that electricity is getting more expensive.
Feed Bandit candles.
Catfish and gut scent flavor.
Get the new and improved gut pick.
Oh God, I love it. I love it. The new improved. Your buddy just threw a knife at the gigantic gut sack, and it.
Oh geez. Or when I got that.
Do you remember when Travis did that? he literally threw a knife and it hit that massive gut, and green stuff's blowing everywhere. Matt there.
Looked like the Brand X gas from Batman or something coming out.
God, yes. Even your Undertaker won't recognize those ruby lips. God, I love it. All right. Well, we've rambled on for a long enough. I think that's what I love about doing this. There's so much fun, and we hope that you guys love listening to us banter and can relate to some of these things. And I truly hope that this kind of opens up your mind to some different things that you've never thought about. Explore those places that you hunt because it means so much to them. And listen, they ain't charities, right? You know what I'm saying? But these people legitimately care about, and it's funny. Yeah, they need your money. Okay, that's what this world's about. Okay, they need your money, but they legitimately are thankful for it.
And you can get to know them. You never know.
Absolutely,
you never know when he may need something. Or
absolutely,
need something, so.
You bet, for sure.
Beyond just what they sell,
Absolutely,
so anyway.
No doubt.
All right, awesome. Well, thank y'all for listening to this one. We had fun. I hope you did too.
Absolutely.
See y'all on the next one.
Well, I hope the Bandits gave you an interesting episode that either entertained or educated you. Or better yet, both. Hell, I told them this podcasting thing looks harder to do than defeating Santa Anna. So if you would, please help them out by sharing it with all your like-minded friends to help the bandits get the word out. And don't forget to check us out at feedbandit.com and grab some gear and apparel to support the cause of Texas. Remember, Texas, above all else, preserve the tradition, protect the legacy. Finally, as I said some time ago on the eve of the great battle, and I vigorously repeat here again, be men, be free men, that your children may bless their father's name. Well, fellow bandit, until next time.